Emotional testimony. The complainant in his sexual assault trial involving a Windsor police officer takes the stand. Cracking down on rolling stops.
They barely even roll. Some of them don't even slow down.
Police on the lookout for drivers not following the rules of the road. And violent extremism.
That's not something we've routinely seen in this country.
A shocking conspiracy uncovered by the RCMP.
CTV News with Stefanie Masotti.
Good evening and thank you for joining us, and hello to those listening on AM 800. Windsor police are cracking down on rolling stops or drivers who don't come to a full stop at stop signs or red lights. The enforcement effort comes after officers in the span of 3 hours issued 8 tickets yesterday, raising concerns about safety, especially during these summer months. CTV's Chris Campbell joins us now with this latest police blitz. Chris.
That's right, Stephanie. Police set up here earlier today on Central Avenue watching for what they call a rolling stop. Officers say it's one of the most common infractions in residential areas and it can have dangerous consequences. Enforcement officers were out just after noon today at this intersection. The goal, to catch drivers who aren't stopping fully at stop signs, especially in high pedestrian areas.
Our traffic enforcement unit is finding that a lot more people are running through stop signs as well as rolling stops at lights, which is horribly dangerous, not only for themselves but for the other drivers on the road. Police say the crackdown was prompted when officers with the Windsor Police Traffic Enforcement Unit stopped 8 drivers in just 3 hours Monday for failing to come to a complete stop.
All they have to do is sit there on that side and they can ticket all day. They can make a fortune here.
Neighbors here say it's become common to see cars barely slowing down at all.
Yeah, every day, almost. At least 60% of the cars don't.
They barely even roll. Some of them don't even slow down.
It's a problem, not just here. It's all over Windsor. You see it everywhere. But I don't think that people are going to learn anything without being monetarily dinged. And once they have to pay out, they're going to be like, oh, second thought at the stop sign, maybe somebody's watching. I will stop. And then we're all safer.
It's a universal problem everywhere, as are not wearing seatbelts, drinking and driving, and a whole pile of other things that cause risk to lives.
Public safety analyst and former OPP commissioner Chris Lewis says rolling stops are not harmless and targeted enforcement can be effective.
Anytime police really put a focus on something that's risking lives, maybe taking the innocent lives of children on bicycles or whatever the case may be, that's a good thing. It's not all about laying charges. It's about educating the public and preventing injuries from occurring.
Windsor police say failing to stop at a red light has a fine up to $325 plus 3 demerit points. Failing to stop at a stop sign could cost $110 plus 3 demerit points, and careless driving could bring a ticket worth $490 plus 6 demerit points.
You have to stop at the stop signs. You have to stop at the stop lights. Again, safety is the #1 thing here. When you stop, make sure the way is clear. That rolling stops are not appropriate and will cost you.
Police say if you're behind the wheel, even slowing to a crawl isn't enough. The law is clear. Stop means stop. Stephanie?
Okay, Chris Campbell with our top story tonight. Now, this takes us to our question of the day. Do you sometimes roll through stop signs? Yes, no, or sometimes? Go to our website to cast your vote, ctvnewswindsor.ca. Yesterday, we asked if you support the city purchasing a new electric street sweeper to help clean up the downtown. The results were not too far apart. Out of almost 600 votes, 58% said yes, they support the buy. OPP closed a portion of Tecumseh Road this morning after a single vehicle crash damaged power lines. Police say 8th Concession Road was closed between County Road 46 and Baseline Road. Police say there were no injuries as a result of the crash. Now, CTV News Windsor has learned one of the people injured in a crash Friday on the 401 was an MTO officer who was on duty at the time. A GoFundMe page says Officer Rob Can was injured while on duty, suffering significant injuries, needing hospitalization and ongoing medical treatment. The GoFundMe is trying to raise $10,000 for medical bills and rehabilitation, a goal that has already doubled. A Windsor police officer is on trial accused of multiple counts of sexual assault. Ken Price faces 4 charges and has pleaded not guilty. His lawyer says Price absolutely denies any wrongdoing. The identity of the complainant is protected by a publication ban, but she is a volunteer for Windsor Police. A warning: some viewers might find the content in this story disturbing. Ma Belichico was in court today when the testimony got emotional.
Staff Sergeant Ken Price was in court today facing 4 counts of sexual assault. The charges stem from allegations by a female Windsor Police volunteer who says she was sexually assaulted and harassed between 2011 and 2015. The complainant was on the stand recounting the first inappropriate act that took place. She testified Price needed help loading a gun. She didn't know how, and while being taught, the complainant says Price leaned over and told her she had a nice, tight rear end. She also told the court another incident occurred prior to a training exercise where she and Price were playing the role of husband and wife. He allegedly entered the room, got on top of her in a simulated sexual act. The complainant kept a notebook and acknowledged she referred to her notes when talking with Special Investigations Unit. Dan Scott, the defense attorney, suggested the woman did not write about Staff Sergeant Price acting inappropriately in her notes. She agreed and explained, "I did not want to keep revisiting it. I wanted it dead. I didn't want it alive. It was a constant trigger for me." The complainant grew emotional, saying, "Writing it down isn't as easy as writing it in your notes because there's this pain that's reinforced, trauma. So no, I didn't write it down in my notebook because I couldn't. I was incapable of it." In another incident, the complainant described another incident where Price grabbed her butt with force. When asked by Scott why she didn't react, she testified her body shut down. There was a witness, but she says he was not in a position to see the act. At one point during her testimony, the complainant said Mr. Price knows he did it, the service knows he did it, Peel Regional Police, a third-party investigator, knows he did it. Everyone knows he did it. Scott continually questioned the complainant's recollection of dates. He also questioned her complaint. The complainant says she couldn't say for sure what a witness saw during one incident, but stated his reaction acknowledged something did happen. Scott pointed out she told investigators the witness definitely saw what happened. The 4-day trial continues Wednesday. Bob Belichico, CTV News.
Meteorologist Gary Archibald joins me now for a first look at the weather from the top of the Bell Building tonight, where, Gary, we are talking rain.
We are talking rain for tomorrow. Meanwhile, it is sunny and warm to start this early evening. We got into more sunshine as the day progressed. Temperatures range from about 26 to almost 30 degrees Celsius across parts of southwestern Ontario, feeling like the mid to upper 30s. So it's been a warm, typical summer day. And we anticipate temperatures to still be warming as we head into next week. We haven't reached the peak of the season, but for tomorrow, showers and thunderstorms are a very real threat. I'll break down what you need to know on that front just ahead. For now, I'll send it back to you inside.
Families in Texas are getting the devastating news their loved ones did not survive and are among the more than 100 people now confirmed dead in the flooding. We are hearing stories of heroism and also the challenging circumstances in which rescuers are currently working. But as CTV's Adrian Gobriel reports, there are also accountability issues being raised.
There's people in it. Oh my God, there's so many people in it.
This video from Camp La Junta shows a cabin ripped from its foundation, floating down the Guadalupe River. Attending the camp, brothers Braden and Brock Davis, who credit their counselors with saving their lives.
Our bed started tipping over, and like we got to the top really quick.
I want my world to know the Lord of love has come to me.
As campers sing a hymn, a passenger on board this evacuation bus realizes the level of devastation.
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
These young girls were rescued from Camp Mystic, where more than 24 have been confirmed dead. The National Weather Service issued their first public warning at 1:14 a.m. on the 4th of July. The Kerr County Sheriff admitting that he wasn't aware of the fast-approaching surge until at least 3 hours later.
When I was first notified, it was around the 4 to 5 area. One of my sergeants was in dispatch when the first calls started coming in, the actual 911 calls come in.
Though officials today declined to answer whether a local emergency manager notified authorities of the incoming flash flood.
We will get answers. Right now, all of our resources are focused to recovery.
With the chance of any further rescues fading with each passing hour, hope in Central Texas is turning to heartache over the precious lives swept away. During a cabinet meeting today, President Donald Trump praised the quick deployment of state and federal rescue crews, saying that without them, the number of dead could have doubled or even tripled. Trump confirming that he will be traveling to survey the natural disaster zone in Texas this Friday. Adrian Gobrel, CTV News, Washington.
A tragic mid-air collision southeast of Winnipeg this morning has left 2 people dead.
The 2 pilots were pronounced deceased on scene. There were no passengers aboard.
Emergency crews found the wreckage of the 2 small aircraft near a landing strip south of Steinbach. The owner of the Manitoba Flight School says they were student pilots trying to land their planes at the same time. Big cuts could be coming to the federal government. Prime Minister Mark Carney has directed his cabinet to identify savings by the end of the summer. The Carney government will table its first budget this fall, and it's already facing criticism for spending promises, including increased NATO defense commitments. CTV News has learned ministers have been tasked with tightening their belts and finding 7.5% in savings for this fiscal year. The PM then wants those savings to increase to 10% in 2027 and 15% by the year after that. Returning home, LaSalle Mayor Crystal Meloche says a number of unfounded or frivolous complaints is becoming a problem and needs to be addressed. Meloche says she plans to introduce a motion tonight at Council requesting town staff draft a policy to deal with these complaints. Meloche says over the past year there has been an increasing number of complaints from the same people for the same issues, and it's straining resources like bylaw enforcement and police and fire.
They're calling 911 or they're calling the fire department and they're pulling a fire truck every time to go to these calls. And so it is costly to the municipality as well when these are unfounded complaints.
Windsor Mayor Drew Dilkens is addressing residential complaints about tall grass in some municipal parks around the city. Dilkens told AM 800's Mike and Meg this morning Council discussed the future of city parks while setting the 2025 capital budget. He clarified that not every park is being naturalized. Only underutilized areas within certain parks are being allowed to return to a more natural state. Dilkens recalled the 2009 city workers' strike when grass went uncut and many residents praised the naturalized look. But the following year, after the city adjusted its maintenance levels, public opinion shifted, residents saying they wanted the grass cut once again. So the city is trying different options to see what works.
It was a budget savings, a minor budget savings, I'll tell you, but now we're letting that happen, and we're getting opinions on both sides, where some residents are saying, why aren't you maintaining the park? And others are saying, gosh, I really like the portion that you're letting naturalize. It looks really nice.
And the town of Essex is looking for feedback on what public transit should look like in the town. And it's not just residents they want to hear from. Mayor Sherry Bondi says residents, businesses, laborers, and tourists are all invited to participate in the survey, which closes August 1st. Bondi says there's an interactive mapping tool where participants can suggest potential bus stops or future routes. The responses will be summarized in a future report to council expected in the fall. Militia plots still ahead on Windsor's news leader. Members of the Canadian Armed Forces are accused of trying to start an anti-government militia. And U.S. President Donald Trump ponders more tariffs on copper and pharmaceutical products that could reach 200%. And tomorrow, Ontario childcare subsidies outdated. A Tilbury mother calling on the province's Minister of Education to make calculated changes. That's tomorrow at 6 on CTV News.
Start your day with the latest local news. By signing up for our newsletter, you'll get direct local content straight from CTV Windsor to your inbox, including top stories, the forecast, and videos. You can sign up at ctvnewswindsor.ca.
A shocking conspiracy uncovered by the RCMP. Members of the Canadian Armed Forces are accused of trying to start an anti-government militia said to be motivated by violent extremism. As CTV's Michael Couture reports, 4 people were arrested today.
We know that 2 of the accused are active members of the Canadian Armed Forces. Now, police allege 3 of the 4 have been planning to create a militia. And according to the charges, the plan was to forcibly take possession of land in the Quebec City area. With 83 guns and accessories, about 11,000 rounds of ammunition, and smoke grenades, police believe the group was ready to do something serious. A search in January of 2024 also turned up 4 pairs of night vision goggles and military equipment.
The fact that we could charge with facilitating a terrorist activity, that it means that people were actually preparing, were taking actions that led us to believe that they wanted to actually achieve something and wanted to commit this violent terrorist acts.
The RCMP has charged 4 people, and the Department of National Defence confirms 2 of them are active members of the Canadian Armed Forces. Matthew Forbes faces charges related to possession of firearms. Marc-Auriel Chabot, Simon Anger Odette, and Raphaël Lagacé are all facing charges related to facilitating terrorist activity. The terrorism charges span a period between 2021 and 2024 in Montreal, Quebec City, Petawawa, and Ralston, Ontario. Lagacé's friend of 12 years is shocked at the accusation that he would be trying to create an anti-government militia. It's quite the contrary, actually. He's very pro-government, very pro-monarchy, says the friend. Police say one of the accused created and ran this Instagram account, which was a recruiting tool for new members of the militia.
As soon as they start talking about seizing land, this goes to me to, I think about some of the militias operating in the United States that set up strongholds, areas where the federal government can't go, and try to really keep out law enforcement.
The 4 accused made a brief court appearance this afternoon in Quebec City, and all of them will remain in custody until their next court date, July 14th. Michael Couture, CTV News, Ottawa.
Rescue crews in British Columbia say they retrieved a man stranded in the woods this week and surrounded by a wildfire. What they didn't expect to see him taken away in handcuffs shortly afterwards. Tonight, we are learning he was actually wanted by police.
The smoke was visible on the southern outskirts of Hope. The Silver Creek fire itself was small, but too close to the community to risk it growing any bigger.
The tricky thing with this fire is it's just the terrain that it's in. It's very steep and sloped.
A helicopter attacked the flames from above while ground crews trudged up the mountain.
Making sure everybody stays safe while they're working it, it's a big concern.
Those crews called off the chopper after hearing something.
Somebody calling for help.
Brad Fandrich changed gears from aerial firefighter to rescue pilot. The local search and rescue team worked with him to long line a man off a cliff face to safety, and a surprise.
We've never gone from the subject of a rescue to being walked away in handcuffs within 2 minutes of him arriving on the ground. That's the first for sure.
Mounties say the man they rescued was Caden Blackwell. The 27-year-old has been wanted for months and was the subject of multiple outstanding warrants and Crime Stoppers bulletins. Public court records show he's facing multiple charges, including driving without a license and assaulting a peace officer.
Where this fire started, it's above a band of cliffs that there's nobody camping there or anything. It was definitely suspicious.
The Wildfire Service has determined the fire was human caused, but won't address rumors Blackwell may have started a signal fire for help that got out of control. The wildfire danger rating is currently moderate in the Lower Mainland and Fraser Valley, but with more warm weather on the way,
You can expect to see the fire danger rating starting to rise.
Blackwell is expected to be far from the woods in custody. Penny Daflos, CTV News, Vancouver.
The U.S. president is escalating the tariff war, floating the idea of a 200% tax on pharmaceuticals and semiconductors. And there's another measure that could be an economic blow to Canada. Donald Trump has announced a significant tariff on imported copper.
Today we're doing copper.
Copper, what would that tariff be on? The section tariff?
I believe the tariff on copper, we're going to make it 50%.
Now, the U.S. accounts for approximately 52% of Canada's copper exports, valued at $9.3 billion. Trump did not say when the new tariffs would take effect. A new global food index has been tracking climbing costs and the reasons why some staples are taking a bigger bite out of the budget. CTV's Camille Karamali has that tonight.
This Toronto butcher shop,
I'll send my friend,
bustling on this Sunday.
This is such a treat today.
A rare treat because meat for some has become a luxury.
Definitely meat is more.
Just listen to how much some of these meats,
something like oxtail,
have gone up in price.
Prices have practically tripled for myself.
The owner of this shop, Marlon Rosenbaum, feeling a bit raw about how much he's had to dish out for some cuts.
It's a tough time for small businesses. Everything costs more than it ever did before.
Meat, one of multiple items to see a price jump globally this month. The other items, vegetable oil and dairy. Meat now hitting an all-time high, up 2% since May, but rising more than 6% since last June. Vegetable oil also seeing a 2% increase since May, up 18% from last year. And although dairy only saw a 0.5% increase since May, it's jumped up 20% since this time last year.
We're seeing reduced production because there are fewer cows around. We've seen dry weather in North America in the last couple of years there's been less feed available.
Less feed available to raise cows not only puts the price of dairy on the rise, it means with a surging population, there's less to go around.
The world will be short 5 times Canada's national production by 2030, so that pressure will only increase.
But these global food prices don't always reflect Canadian food prices. Take vegetable oil, for example, surging in price globally, but in Canada, the cost has actually gone down.
We have excess supply of canola oil in this country, which is the predominant oil that we use.
All in all, people will still have to pay more for most foods. So what gives you hope to keep going?
I think just trying to keep in mind that good quality meat is something that there will always be a demand for.
Hoping that for these customers, locally sourced meat will still be a cut above the rest. Kamil Karamali, CTV News, Toronto.
After more than 100 years in production, the company behind Jersey Milk says the chocolate bars are being discontinued. The bars were first developed by dairy brand William Nielsen in 1924 and only produced in Canada, but production fell under Mondelez International after a series of acquisitions. The company says the decision to drop the Jersey Milk bar was the result of a drop in demand. However, the company confirmed the move will not result in any job losses. Canada's main stock index was weighed down today by losses in the basic materials sector. In Toronto, the TSX lost 117 points. In New York, the Dow fell 165. The Nasdaq gained 6. Our Canadian dollar dropped 1/10 of a cent today. On commodity markets, gold fell almost $26 an ounce and oil gained 40 cents a barrel. Outbreak Tracker. What if tracking illness in Ontario was as easy as checking the weather? When we return, a new web app shows what's spreading and where.
Let's look at our CTV News weather snapshot. Thanks to Joni LaRiviere for this rural scenic. Just ahead, will showers and thunderstorms be in store for tomorrow through to the end of the work week? We'll find out next on CTV News Windsor.
Discussion here at Windsor City Hall.
Windsor's top stories.
A major project is about to get underway.
Breaking news alerts.
Severe weather is a possibility.
And watch live.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Download the CTV News app. From moment to moment, things change. CTVNewsWindsor.ca is Windsor's #1 source for online news. Watch every story from wherever you are, the moment it happens. CTVNewsWindsor.ca.
Here's a look outside from earlier today with more on the forecast. Carrie joins us once again.
Mixture of sun and clouds, Stephanie. It was a pleasant afternoon, not too warm, not too humid, seasonal for this time of the year. Expect temperatures to be close to 28 degrees for a daytime high. That's what we got. And the overnights, well, we knew it was going to be cool this morning, and it was 14.1 degrees Celsius. We're normally 3 degrees warmer than that, but we'll take it. It was a comfortable early morning and a beautiful full moon for night sky viewers. It was lovely. Temperatures in the mid-20s across the region. A bit cooler in Chatham-Kent, 24 degrees Celsius. That's 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Windsor at the airport, 27 is 81. Again, a mixture of sun and cloud, a bit hazy, but lots of sunshine to be found across southern Ontario proper. And humidex values are not uncomfortable. Somewhere between 27, 28, and topping out near 33, 34 across the region. So we are in for a relatively quiet evening, and that's good news. But there's a couple of elements that are coming together, and with that, we'll see possible showers and thunderstorms moving through the region. The overnight's relatively quiet and mostly clear. What we are going to see is an area of low pressure and a cold front dragging through the lower Great Lakes. For tomorrow morning through the midday afternoon, we will see some showers and thunderstorms potentially erupting, especially in the afternoon for Wednesday. So keep an umbrella handy if you know you're going to be outside, especially around 4, 5 p.m. and onwards towards supper time. This model takes us through the afternoon, so you see the spread there, but the amounts aren't too impressive, say for London. If we do see thunderstorms locally, of course, we are anticipating much higher amounts. Now, a couple of things to point out for this evening. I mentioned it being quiet, but it's also going to be warm. We will still be in the 20s by midnight under mostly clear conditions. 21 degrees at midnight will feel like 28. The winds out of the south, that's where that warm, moist, humid air is coming from. Take a look at our SILES heating and cooling 7-day forecast. Showers, thunderstorms possible, and we're looking at a high of 26, feeling like 34. Showers Thursday, 29. Then fair weather, 31 Friday. Showers for the weekend both days, 31 and 30, and then 31, 32. As we look ahead towards fair conditions Monday and Tuesday, your 7-day forecast courtesy of SILES Heating and Cooling.
Lifetime, brought to you by Safeguard Medical Alert Systems.
An area expert in tracking diseases has launched a new app providing users with a geographical snapshot of potential health concerns across Ontario. With more on the launch and the plans for expansion is Scott Miller.
But the weekly trend is on a decrease.
Friends heading overseas recently asked mathematical epidemiologist Chapin Korosek whether it was medically safe for their young family to travel to a certain part of Europe amidst a measles outbreak. He crunched the numbers and sent them a one-page outline with the most current disease outlook, and then he started thinking.
Maybe a lot of people would like this hyper-local, active information for disease trends in their region, and then that was the spark that led to this idea.
6 months later, countless hours, and $3,000 later, Korosek, his wife Alexandra Casper, and Michael Daly, all from Godrich, launched Episense.ca, a web-based app that essentially is a weather app for illness tracking, allowing people to see what the disease trends are in their specific area of the province.
We saw a lot of this during the COVID outbreak.
There is lots of information available, but it's not easy to digest or understand as an everyday person. So with episense.ca, what we're trying to do is make that information accessible and easy to digest, just like a weather forecast.
You don't want to get sucked into deep analysis. You don't want to get sucked into reading 10 different sources. So the vision is really, you can wake up, you can check your episense.ca app and just see what is the real risk out there.
Right now, episense.ca is tracking measles, COVID, RSV, influenza A and B, and rhinovirus. Users input the first 3 letters of their postal code and they get a dashboard with the current status of those illnesses and which way those illnesses are trending. A Lyme disease tick tracker is under development, as well as an Ontario map with hotspots. Coruscant says they're using largely public health data along with a self-reporting tool to try and have the most accurate and understandable health data available to their users.
If we can capture really severe epidemiological trends as they're happening and even get a few days lead time countrywide, then that would be a really valuable thing for society.
While the current focus of Episense is tracking health data in Ontario, the next goal would be moving on to BC and possibly across the country.
It's a solution designed by Canadians for Canadians to make them help make better decisions about their health.
It's really to be that disease decision-making tool so that you can keep your family safe.
In Godrich, Scott Miller, CTV News.
Gen Z entered the workforce mid-pandemic when masks and remote meetings were the norm, and now some experts say it's impacted their so-called soft skills. As CTV's Vanessa Wright reports, now that we're back to business as usual, many younger employees are struggling to fit into office culture.
The pandemic is fading, but its impacts are proving to be long-lasting, particularly when it comes to the underdeveloped social skills of Gen Z, as the expectation to move from online to in-person became a reality.
Did you struggle with the social skills once everything returned back to normal?
Yes, I struggled a little bit. Even though I knew people before, it was strange to come and talk to them.
Clinical psychologist Dr. Simon Sherry says the effects felt by Gen Z, people born between 1997 and 2012, have much to do with the restrictions that were in place during COVID.
They were exposed to prolonged remote learning. On top of that, they're a generation very much involved in screens, which doesn't promote your social and emotional competencies in real time.
As a result, etiquette specialist Julie Blake-Como says important soft skills like a strong handshake were never taught or adapted. Same thing goes for social skills outside the workplace.
Dining etiquette, a lot of them find themselves at a power business lunch or breakfast or dinner, and they're paralyzed because they don't know, is that my bread plate? Is it okay to clink wine glasses? How do I say no if I don't want to have a drink?
So how can you tell if you may be in need of workplace etiquette?
If after an event, a meeting, you're constantly thinking back, oh, yeah, that wasn't great, eh? I wish I would have known better. I wish I would do better.
Como says her Gen Z clients have expressed a willingness to learn.
And I do believe that the soft skills, that the etiquette will help all, not only Gen Z employees, but all of us live happily at work.
It's going to be difficult and a little stressing, but the more we'll do it, the more it's going to be easy and normal to us.
Vanessa Wright, CTV News, Halifax.
Musical Majesty coming up on Windsor's News Leader. From Gershwin to Motown, the Windsor Symphony Orchestra unveils season highlights.
Multi-platinum classical group Il Divo returns to the Coliseum stage with their By Candlelight Tour Friday, October 10th. Enter online at ctvwindsor.ca for your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to see Il Divo at Caesars Windsor, plus a $250 gift card.
Dozens of deaf athletes are at risk of missing an Olympic-style competition in Tokyo. CTV's Beth McDonnell has more on the funding gaps they are hoping to get addressed.
Russell Bowie's passion for golf has led to serious success. Bowie is hard of hearing and has been wearing hearing aids since he was a toddler. He's also the current world deaf golf champion and was a silver medalist at the last Deaf Olympics in Brazil.
It was an amazing experience, and finishing on a podium and doing well, and was just is something I'll never forget. But obviously this time there's one better spot to get.
The next Deaf Olympics are in November, and this time Bowie hopes to bring home gold. But those dreams could be over for him and close to 50 other hard of hearing and deaf athletes set to travel for the competition if the Canadian Deaf Sports Association doesn't raise enough money.
It'd just be a big loss mentally, emotionally, and also just a lot of money has been spent preparing up to this point as well. So to have all that just go away and nothing to show for it would be a shame.
The association says it's trying to raise $100,000, but so far only has $30,000. While Canada has been sending athletes to the Deaf Olympics since the 1960s, it says the cost of living has risen significantly and traveling to Japan is very expensive. And it's calling on Canadians to help send this year's contingent.
And now the recent development of, maybe a funding shortfall is definitely not something you wanted to be thinking about.
Bowie says there's been a lot of excitement to represent Canada in Japan, and he and other athletes will be devastated if they can't go.
Just a really neat, cool, enriching opportunity that, for all of us going, it's something that, we love doing, and we do everything we can to be a part of these competitions.
Beth McDonnell, CTV News.
The Windsor Symphony box office was a busy place today as tickets went on sale for the new season. Tickets are available online or at the Capitol Theatre. And to help kick off the new season, concert master Lillian Shyrick manned the box office to help sell the first tickets. Fans can expect a season full of diverse performances, from the classics to more modern and contemporary, and special guest performers. Maestro Robert Franz is gearing up for a return to the Capitol stage in September. The opening night of Gershwin is Saturday, September 20th.
There's a special energy and emotion that comes with listening to people play. And in this age of AI doing everything, we have to remember that there's people that do that, and they put their heart and soul into it, and that they make it special. It's not something that can be computer generated. It's something that comes from our hearts.
Downtown Amherstburg is set to burst with color and creativity during the 3rd annual Amherstburg Art Crawl, which is happening July 18th through the 20th. The 3-day event kicks off with an art social Friday night, followed by guided crawls, mural unveilings, and live performances all weekend, including a kid-friendly junior art crawl and a Windsor Symphony performance to close things out. Organizers say the free event celebrates community spirit and builds on Amherstburg's growing reputation as a vibrant arts destination. In other news, TikTok is pulling sponsorship for several Canadian art institutions, including the Juno Awards and the Toronto International Film Festival. The move comes as the platform is complying with a federal order to shut down its Canadian operations. Now, in the U.S., TikTok is reportedly working on a new version of its popular video sharing app ahead of a major sale to a group of American investors. The change would potentially sever the app's connection to China by using a different algorithm and offering a new user experience. Now, do you have a comment or question? We want to hear from you. Text us at 10400. We also accept photos and videos as well.
I like it. I do. Unscripted, unpredictable, and unapologetic. Wake up with Hannah and Johnny on 93.9 Virgin Radio.
This is your CTV Windsor Our Community Calendar. Come walk or run at this year's Run for Rocky event on Saturday, August 9th during Windsor Essex Pride Fest weekend in support of local gay, straight alliances. See you next time on Our Community.
It's time to check in on what's happening now with Melanie Kentner. And Melanie, you have information on the long-delayed rat abatement program in Lakeshore.
That's right. The program was initially approved 2 years ago, but the rollout was delayed until now. The municipality is now accepting applications for the pilot program. Property owners can apply for a rebate up to 50% of the cost of extermination services to a maximum of $200. Earlier this year, council allocated $10,000 for the program. To be considered, residents must complete a brief intake form and have the outside of their home inspected by a bylaw officer. We've got details on the program at ctvnewswindsor.ca.
And we've also got a story on our website, Melanie, about an alleged stunt driver on East Hero Expressway.
Yes, Windsor police say they busted a driver going 70 kilometers per hour over the speed limit. The traffic enforcement unit stopped the vehicle on Easy Row and Lozon Parkway yesterday. Officers say the driver was recorded traveling 170 per hour. And that's in a 100 zone. Their driver's license was suspended for 30 days and the vehicle was impounded for 14 days. You can find more traffic stories on our website. And check out our social spotlight of a bear just trying to relax. Oh, the bear is doing everything to try and stay on that hammock, and it just isn't working out. Although hammocks do take a lot of balance, Stefanie.
Melanie, without a doubt, it is a skill. Simply YouTube hammock fails and you'll get a good laugh for a while.
Yeah, for sure. I think I would do the same thing if I was trying to stay on that hammock.
Oh, I've definitely done it before. Okay, thank you, Melanie, and that's what's happening now.
It was a bit of a challenge, safety-wise.
Every time Tracy backed out of her driveway, a bush was blocking her view. When we return, her husband's cutting-edge idea.
The latest news to start your day.
Interviews, conversations with the top officials, the difference makers, and personalities in Windsor, Essex.
Only on Windsor, Essex #1 morning show.
It's Mornings with Mike and Meg on AM 800.
Gorgeous flowers, Gary. I know that's a shot you definitely took. I'm wondering, though, I know we're a few days ahead. Windsor is celebrating its birthday on Saturday, so I know I'm watching that forecast closely. I do want to take my family there, and there will be a bunch of beautiful flowers there, just like those, but I know there's a chance.
Likely to be cloudy with some showers. Let's take a look at that 7-day forecast so you can gear up for it, Stefanie. And there will be a lot of other people, I'm sure, who will want to partake in the event. Speaking of showers, tomorrow in the afternoon in particular, we could have showers and a mix of thunderstorm activity, maybe even some gusty winds. So watch out for that. Thursday into Friday, temperatures near 30 degrees Celsius. It looks better for Friday. Saturday's cloudy. Right now, the risk of showers is relatively low, and then temperatures in the low 30s Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Next week is going to be warm and sunnier than what's left of this week.
Okay, Gary, thank you. Okay. Ricardo, an update tonight from Queen's Park.
Yeah, we're heading to the capital tonight, Stefanie, where we're getting a new look at plans for Ontario Place. Of course, that's a multi-million-dollar rebuild that's come under intense controversy and scrutiny, particularly for the 95-year lease that was handed down to a private spa company. Now, Therma is now revealing its updated plans, including how it's responding to some of that criticism and the feedback it's received. We'll have that and much more tonight at 11. Steph.
Okay, Ricardo, finally for us tonight, the story behind a couple who turned a problem bush into an opportunity for some positive pruning. CTV's Adam Sawatsky explains.
Every time she backed up her car,
The head on the swivel really a lot.
Tracy Ferreria's view of the oncoming traffic was blocked by that bush.
It was a bit of a challenge, safety-wise.
But Tracy didn't want to cut it down. So her husband John wondered if the best workaround was to cut through it.
And so I made a couple of holes.
Which proved to be a whole lot of help for Tracy.
That's brilliant. This is so much easier to get out of the driveway.
Until a friend mentioned the hole looked like a mouth.
You got to make a face. So I made a face, let the hair grow on it.
He even named it. But despite John's best efforts, the dude seemed to be somewhat dour.
I said, you got to do one on the other side that's happy.
So John made the other side smile, which not only inspired passing people to share appreciative comments, but leave presents too.
And left a beer there for me to say thank you. For Christmas, someone left a card and say thank you.
Because every season, Tracy and John find some way to make the dude even more dynamic.
For Halloween, I have a mannequin that I stuffed in its mouth there.
While the grumpy side can get ghoulish, the smiling side is happy to hop at Easter or ho 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 come Christmas.
I sewed a really, really, really big Santa hat to put on it.
But when it comes to celebrating our country, there's a consensus that both sides fly flags attached to hockey sticks.
In today's world, I think we need to do happy stuff.
Which is why John has expanded his positive pruning to include a second bush he calls the little dudes, who Tracy calls the kids, because like real children, they also can't get enough of Christmas.
A little bit of effort can bring a whole lot of joy. So why not take the time?
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Saanich.
So much joy in this story, that's for sure.
Yeah. That one side scared me a little bit, to be honest, that first shot of it. And I like the little family, maybe the kids, family, really
it's
creative.
practical.
Yeah.
So there you go. Dual function. That's what you need.
I like it.
On behalf of our dedicated team here at CTV News Windsor, thank you for watching.
For updates throughout the evening, go to ctvnewswindsor.ca.
And I'll see you again tonight at 11 with a late look at local news.
Good night.
Good night.